So good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year to you. Let's all take a seat. Once you're in your seat and you're quiet, go ahead and close your eyes. And start to bring your awareness from outside around you to inward. And it's here we start. It's here we begin, in home. And as we end a year and we begin a new year, there's a lot that we go through as far as celebration, reflection, intention. And this morning, I'd like to just remind you of a teaching, a philosophy, that we are all perfect just as we are. Now, is there room for improvement? Possibly. And there's always growth as we move from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. But just like the Navajo rugs show imperfection in the work, just like Japanese art shows imperfection in the work, we remember that we are imperfect, perfect beings having a human experience. Let's bring the hands together, holding that intention in anything that you came to the mat with this morning. May the class be exactly what you need. Take a breath. And as you exhale, release the hands, softly open the eyes, maybe roll the shoulders a couple of times. We're going to start standing, as we always do. Make sure that you have everything that you need around you. When we take a moment here in Tadasana, mountain pose. So standing with feet hip distance or so, parallel, toes forward. Take one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. And allow the eyes to close if you like, or maybe find a drishti, a point maybe slightly downward onto the floor. The hand on the heart is a reminder here, not only to be in our breath body, but also in our deeper sense body, our emotional body. And then the hand on the belly is reminding us to breathe deeply and to connect to the physical part of us. Feel the steadiness and the grounding and the rooting of the feet, and then the rising up of the heart. From here, release the arms. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, hands come to the heart. Now you can choose here, we're going to stand in place. You can maybe put a block between your legs if you want that extra stability for your knees, or you can bring your legs all the way together so that you're standing closer in. So inhale all the way up. This time, exhale, hands to heart, and come into a chair pose. So this is where you might want to choose. Thumb on your breastbone, tailbone reaching towards the floor behind you, belly engaged. Good. From here, inhale, come up, bring hands interlaced together, and go ahead and lean to the right, finding that open side body. Take a breath here, try not to rush, keeping your arms hugging into the midline. And then as you inhale, palms come back together and sit in that chair. Finding maybe the lift of the toes this time and the weight sifting back into the heels. Inhale, rise up. Again, hands stay together and lean over to the left. And you might notice your own tendency to work downward. Excuse me. Think about bringing your chest open, and the arms are squeezing in, so they're very active here. Take another breath, and then inhale, exhale, hands to the heart. Sit maybe a little deeper, finding the energy in the legs and the lightness in the spine. Inhale, come up. This time we're going to twist. So twisting to the right, one arm goes behind you, palms are facing the direction you're looking at. Keep squeezing the legs together, keep rooting through your feet, rising up through the whole spine. Taking that nice long breath here. On your next inhale, come up, palms come together and sit. Starting with intention. And I love this idea of we are imperfect, perfect beings. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, turn. Let's take a moment on this side. Reaching palms forward towards the direction you're looking in. You're going to have a little rotation coming probably all the way up through the ankle, but most of it's happening around the spine itself. Just see what this side feels like, noticing where your gaze is. On your inhale, rising up again and finding that chair pose. Exhale. All right, just a little quicker going through that now, taking it on the breath. So as you inhale, come up, and you exhale and you laterally bend. Inhale, come up, exhale, sit. Inhale, come up and go the other way. Squeeze and hug the midline. Inhale, come up and sit. Inhale up and twist, expanding. Inhale up and stabilizing. Inhale up and twist. And inhale up and stabilize. From here, I want you to stay. All right, I'm going to change my position so that you can see. We're still in there. Now, Susie, you've got the block, so you might want to remove it. We're going to take a step back. So lifting your right heel, take a step back wherever that feels comfortable. So you're in a high lunge position. We're going to inhale, rise up, separate the arms, and do what's called prana mudra. So the palms are facing more upward. The heart is open, and you feel the shoulder blades squeeze together. Inhale, come back, center it up, and chair. Take the other heel up, crescent pose. Inhale, rise, and then prana mudra, open the heart. Really keep the back leg nice and strong. Inhale back, hands to heart, chair. Good. Inhale, stand all the way up. Let's laterally bend and put all that together. Laterally bend. Inhale, come up and sit. Remember, we sit in that chair in between each movement. Inhale, rise up and laterally bend the other way. Inhale up and sit. Up and twist this time, going to the right. Finding the gaze maybe back on your back hand. Inhale up and sit. Other side, lift and twist. Inhale up and sit. Stay here for right step back. Inhale up and prana mudra, open the chest. Exhale, hands together, sit. Other leg up and back, prana mudra. Exhale, hands here. This time folding forward, inhale up and exhale, folding forward. Soften knees. Take a moment here. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthening the spine, lengthening the legs. Exhale down and step back into a high plank pose. So heels are lifting. Try not to press back, think more lifting. Pelvis is lifting, shoulder blades are engaged, heart is open. Taking that moment to really connect into that grounding, stable energy. And then from here, let the knees come to the floor and sit back towards your heels, lengthening through the arms. Inhale, come forward and find plank again. Stable, steady, use your fingers. Check in with your head. Keep lifting the belly. Knees down this time, stay. And take your right leg back and your left palm forward. Stabilizing, lengthening. Notice the imperfection. Release and come down. Other side, straight leg back. Opposite arm forward, palm to the sky. And then allow the hands to come to the mat, knees to come to the mat, and find your first downward facing dog. Letting the heels descend maybe one at a time. Letting the pelvis and the sitting bones feel light. Allow the spine to cascade downward. And then from here, let's take another inhale, lift your sitting bones up higher. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Now you're in a bigger crescent lunge. I want you to stay here. Start to fly the arms outward towards the walls. If you feel stable, lift yourself up into that crescent pose, a little deeper than the first time. Let's take the arms back and open. Prana Mudra, expanding. Goodness, exhale, hands to heart. And then we want to lean forward and step forward here. Can you keep that toe light? And from here, we're going to stand and lift the knee. Balance. Stabilizing. Here. My puppy must have seen another puppy outside if you can hear him barking. From here, take this front leg, the one we've got up in the air, and step back into that crescent pose. See if you can, way back there. Excellent. And hands to the mat, downward facing. Taking a moment here. Inhaling, sitting bones high. Next, inhale, sitting bones high. Exhale, other leg steps forward to the front of the mat. So you're in a deeper crescent lunge. Keep the back leg lifted and the knee over the ankle as you float the arms out to the side. Starting to lift up, 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 up. Reach, and then Prana Mudra here. We did this once already. A little bit easier the first time. Keep descending into the front leg. Then exhale, hands to the heart. Lean forward. See if you can step that back leg just next to the front one. And then from here, we stand and lift. Finding that stability and that balance. Heart open. Focus. Take another breath and then see if you can find that crescent lunge again. Big, long stance. And then hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, sitting bones high. And exhale, come forward into your plank pose. Knees on the floor. We've got 3 push-ups here to do. So fingers are active. Shoulders are forward, elbows are in. So slide down and come up, that's 1. Slide down, come up, that's 2. Slide down, come up, that's 3. Then lower all the way to the floor. Release your toes and walk your feet backwards for your first little baby cobra. Squeeze the elbows in, keep the feet on the floor. And if you like, hover the hands. Take a breath here. Exhale, hands back. Release. Find downward facing dog again. We'll take about 5 breaths here. And just feel into your tendency for wanting to make everything perfect. Realizing that there is nothing to fix. We might want to make our downward facing dog feeling a little bit more ease, Because remember, each yoga pose has 3 components. One is breath. The other is sukha, which is ease. And the last one is sthira, steady. Those 3 components in every single thing we do. Take a breath. And then walk yourself to the front of the mat. Once you find your feet underneath you, inhale, come halfway up, lengthening through that spine. Exhaling all the way down and then sitting back into that chair pose. Take the arms forward and up and come into that prana mudra again. This is a little harder in chair. So think about thumbs back, heart open, little back bend going on here, eyes slightly up. Don't worry about how deep you are in the pose, that doesn't matter. And then as you inhale, come all the way to standing, palms come together. Exhale, hands at the heart. Take a moment here. I want you to bring your feet back together. Come back into your chair pose, wherever that is for you. We're going to take that left foot back. I'm going to try this one more time, this nice crescent pose. Think now about this descending of this leg. Maybe this knee is going to bend. It's going to depend on how you're feeling. Take your arms up in the air, and we're going to twist now towards your front leg side. So if you step back on your left, it's going to be twisting to the right. If you step back on your right foot, it's going to be twisting to the left. Your chest is facing the front leg side. Palms are facing the direction of your eyes. As you inhale, come up. And then if you can, hands to heart, bend the back knee. Inhale, come up, keep the back leg straight, and twist. Inhale, come up, and maybe if you can, bend the back knee. Once more, up, and twist. Stay focused. Inhale, up, and down. Maybe the back knee bends. Terrific. Come forward, back leg straightens, step in, and then as you stand, lift this front leg. We've been here already. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, step back again. Find that long crescent pose. Inhale, prana mudra. And then exhale all the way down. Step back, downward facing dog. Come forward into your plank. Taking a breath here. And from here, I want you to bring your right knee and your right foot up to the sky, setting back into that one-legged dog pose. Exhale, knee to the chest. Hold here. Keep drawing the head and the knee toward each other. Keep the foot off the floor and thinking about really engaging that deep inner core. Let the foot come back to the other foot. Take a breath in downward facing as the left leg comes up. And then knee to chest, exhale. Stay here. Hang out here. Think, not just let the knee come down, but draw the knee inward as if you're trying to touch your chest or touch your chin. Feet back together, downward facing, and then walk to the front of your mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come all the way down, and then sitting in that chair again, feet can be all the way together or hip distance. Arms come forward and up into that prana mudra. Think chest open, heart open, but you've got those knees bent, so a little bit different. Eyes slightly up. Inhale, come all the way to standing, and then exhale, hands back to chair. Now let's try the other side. Whatever leg you stepped with the first, please choose the other one. So I'm on my right leg, stepping back into that high crescent. Once you feel stable, inhale, arms up, and then exhale, twist now towards that front leg side. So I'm twisting toward my left, trying to bring those hands in opposite positions. Inhale, two arms come high, And maybe as you exhale, hands to heart, back knee bends. Inhale, rising up. Keep your front leg nice and bent. Exhale, twist. Reaching in opposite directions. Front knee moving forward. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Sorry, exhale and back. We got one more. Inhale. Try not to straighten your front leg. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. And maybe exhale, bend the back knee. From here, we shift forward. We come forward, maybe a tap right next to your front foot. And then inhale, stand and lift that front leg. Breathing. As you feel ready, front leg goes to the back again. Crescent pose. Prana mudra. Big open heart. Really feel it expansive. And then exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to your plank. Now this time I want you to bring your knee forward and we're going to do a little motion here. So tap your knee to the floor and then pull it up. Tap, pull. Tap, pull. Tap, pull. One more time. Tap, pull, and then go back to plank. Other leg comes forward. Tap, pull. Tap, pull. Tap, pull. Tap, pull. One more. Tap, pull, and downward facing. Breathe here. A good 5 breaths. As you feel ready, I want you to drop your knees to the mat. Excuse me. And we're going to come to hero's pose here. And you're more than welcome to put a block behind you in between your 2 feet to sit on, or you can stay on your feet. And I want you to have your weights close by. So we're going to go back to movement, but I wanted to focus just a little bit here before we started. And take a moment, come back to the hand on the heart and the hand on the belly. And rather than closing the eyes, just find a drishti that you can see out in front of you. Check in with yourself as far as breath, what you're sensing, what you're feeling. Those 3 components of every yoga asana practice is breathing, intentional breathing, sthira and sukha, steadiness and ease. This one's easy to feel steadiness in. Can you also feel the ease? And then go ahead and release and pick up your weights. Remember, you don't have to use the weights. They add another component. We're just going to let the arms start here at the bottom. Chest high, tailbone heavy. Feel stable in your legs. So we're going to bring the weights to our chest, the weights overhead, the weights behind, the weights up overhead, back to chest, and now push out away from you. Open. In and down. Try it again. Curl, push, back, push, in, out, in, down. So while we're going through this little flow, I want you to realize that you don't have the rest of your body to help you here. I mean, you do have the upper half of your body for sure. But typically we use our stability with our legs, right? So now we don't have that. We end up with a little bit more focus around the upper body. Okay, now the next time we're going to go through this a little bit differently. So go up overhead, stay here. Can you squeeze your arms toward your head? Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Now we're going to do 8 tricep presses. Down, push. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears and your arms right next to your head. This is 3, push. Push. 5, push. 2 more. All right. Now bring your weights back to your chest. And we're going to take the arms out and we're going to stay here. Palms up. Palms down. Palms up. Palms down. Palms up. Notice your shoulder blades moving around a little bit. Notice your shoulders. Can you keep it out of your neck? Open. In. Open. Next time you stay open, we're going to take the arms across the front body and then back out again. Change the cross and back out again. Change the cross. Now remember, when we want to have a little bit of shifting in our being, I'll use that word, right? Doesn't have to be our physical body, maybe it's our mental body. There's a little bit of difficulty, there's a little bit of challenge. There's a little bit of, wow, this might feel really hard. Ask yourself, do you tend to give up? I can't do it, it's too hard. Or do you tend to push through a little and see, well, yeah, maybe there's a little bit of difficulty, but on the other side, wow, it's going to really be amazing. And we'll do 2 more here. And if this doesn't feel hard, your weights aren't heavy enough. And open. And 1 more, crisscross. And open, and then release it. Phew, weights to the side. Go ahead and shake your arms off. We're going to come back to plank pose right away. So hands on the mat, plank pose. From here, we're going to do 1 more little knee to chest thing, but it's going to be active. Each exhale, bring your knee to your chest and then go back to where you were. So it's keep going. And every exhale, the knee comes in. You're not necessarily moving anything other than your legs. That's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees on the floor. Slide down to the floor. Walk your feet backwards, shoulders on your back. Cobra. Nice strong cobra. Now, if you feel strong enough and you want to lift your hands, take your hands behind you. Palms to the floor. Press through your feet. Breathe. Take 1 more breath. Exhale, hands back. Pushing yourself up. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. I heard one of my teachers say, if there was a pill for you to be the most magnificent version of yourself, the strongest version, the most compassionate person, the most focused, would you take it? And he said the pill was yoga. Every day, every time you come to the mat, there's an opportunity for you to have growth, strength, compassion, joy. On your next inhale, help your sitting bones get higher. Exhale, walk to the front of your mat, get your feet underneath you. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come all the way down. Sitting back in that chair, bring your arms forward and up for that prana mudra again. So depending on how deep your seat is, mine's not very deep. It usually depends on how big your prana mudra, your back bend is. As you exhale, hands come around behind you. Interlace your hands, push back, feel the heart center, and then shift off of one leg, I don't care which one it is, and lift that leg up. As you lift that leg up, take that leg back behind you in that high crescent. Big inhale here. Exhale, fold over your front leg. Hands to the sky, head to the front foot. Inhale, come up. Can you step forward and hover? Lower that foot, shift to the other side, hover. Now remember, I'm taking your arms away, so now the steadiness is harder. Shift back, crescent. Hands high, head low. Breathe. Inhale back and step forward and hover. Breathe. Feet together. Soft knees as you fold forward. Head releases, arms high. Breathe. And then on your next inhale, sweep your arms down, come forward and all the way up to standing. Palms to the heart. All right, one more little bit. How are we doing? Pick up your weights. So now we're going to stand fairly stationary here for a moment at least, with your hands by your sides. So similar action. I'm going to have you lean forward. You can soften your knees and bring your arms behind you so that they're about parallel with your own body or maybe parallel with the floor. The arms are straight here. You're working in through your triceps and upper back. So make sure your shoulder blades are nice and strong. Come forward, hands to shoulders. Come up overhead and press. Back to shoulders and back behind you. Simple movement pattern to start. Push up, in, and reach back. Now each time we go, you can make this just a little bit more interesting by deepening your knee bend so that you're in a little bit more of a squat and lifting your heels up when you come over your head. Reach, in, push, lower, back, in, push, or not, right? And back, in, push, lower, and back. One more time, in, push, lower. Now hold this, keep in this position, shift off your right foot and step your foot back. Here's that crescent lunge again. We're going to come forward and up. Choice to take your weights into your same side hand. So my right leg is back, my right hand is up. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Front knee scoots forward and down. Lower the hand, lower the knee. And up, now push overhead. And back. Down. Shoulder. Up. Down. Shoulder. Up. Let's do two more. Down, shoulder. And the trick is to try not to come too far out of this front leg. Down. Good. Bring your weights to your chest. Shift forward and hover into a warrior 3 version. Now I'm into this new funky version where both legs are slightly bent. I find it to be a little bit more interesting. You can do whatever version you like. Bring your back leg to your front foot. Stand all the way up. Breathe. Come back to your Tadasana. Hands are going to crisscross right here. Going to go over and up. Back in, crisscross, over and up. Good. Strong core. Strong Tadasana. Remember stability. Sthira. Ease with your movement. Sukha. Breathing in and out through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth is fine, but you don't want to do the kind of thing here. There's purpose for that. Not now. Let's do one more. In and up. All right. Hold the hand steady. Pick up your left foot and step back. Crescent pose. Double the weights into your left hand if you like. Otherwise, do both of them at the same time. So we're going to lower the knee, lower the hand. Up. Press. in, down, up, press. And so we're trying to deepen our actions each time we go, whether it's with a little bit more weight, a little bit more of a depth of movement, more repetition, and up, and down, and up. Good. Bring your weights to your chest, lean forward, and find that warrior three, either traditional straight legs or new funky legs. Either way, try to keep your pelvis neutral here. Core body's really strong and engaged. Nice deep breath. And then bring your back foot to your front foot. Come all the way to standing. Good. Setting your weights down. Come back to Tadasana. And turn this way. Hands at your heart. And as you inhale, take your arms up over your head. Tailbone to the ground, heart to the sky. So we're in a standing back bend, but we're really working on this arm action. Shoulder blades together, chest nice and open. Inhale, hands up. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come all the way down and find your plank pose one last time. Last time here with the knees. We're going to crisscross to the opposite arm. So as you exhale, knee to the opposite arm. Keep your head and shoulders steady. Let your body twist. Make sure you use your exhale every time. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Downward facing. Take your feet wider apart this time. Hands wider apart. Inhale, sitting bones high. Exhale, descend the heels. Feel the shoulders melt down your back and the spine cascade toward the floor. As you inhale, come forward to your plank. Let your knees rest on the mat and exhale down to the floor. Press through your back feet, lift up through your shoulders, cobra. Now this cobra should actually feel pretty good. Keep squeezing your elbows together, keep pressing down through your feet. And then as you exhale, lower back down. All right. I want you to bring your hands out in front of you. You can keep them wide, like to the corners of your mat, and keep your feet wide. You want to think about your body being anchored, rib cage to side rib cage, pelvis to pelvis, like a box. All right, palms can be down or thumbs can be up. I want you to bring your right leg and your left arm up off the floor. Now your right arm and your left leg are down. I want you not to push into those. Lower down, other side. So you're lifting wherever you like to lift, as long as your ribs and your pelvis are neutral. Lower down, lift. Think about lengthening yourself out longer rather than higher. Lower down, lift. Reaching fingers and toes. Lower down, lift. Trying not to go fast. Really work with the back side of the body. Down and lift. Nice counterbalance to all the other work we were doing. Let's do one more. Up. Breathing. Should feel good. And down and lift. Even though there's some effort here. And then down and rest. Let your right hand be underneath your forehead or chin. Left hand out in front of you. I want you to bend your left knee. Anchor your sitting bones, your pubic bone. And then lift your left hand off the floor, reach around and grab your left foot. So you're up off the floor in this little baby back bend. Stay here. I want you to take a breath and push your foot away so your back bend gets bigger. Exhale, bring your head down and your foot to your bottom. Inhale, push your foot away and get bigger. Exhale, foot to your bottom. Once more. Inhale up and exhale in. Next time you push your foot away, stay there. Now you're welcome to stay right here, or you can try to hover this top arm. Keep pushing this back foot behind you. That's your power. Your right foot can come off the floor if you like, and you're breathing. If it's too hard, arm down on the floor. One more breath. Exhale, foot to bottom, head down, and then release it. Switch your sides. So other hand underneath your forehead, reach your right arm forward and bend your right leg. Reach around, grab your right foot and notice how you're up off the floor a little bit. Remember your ribs and your pelvis. As you exhale, bring your foot toward your bottom, head down. Inhale, push your foot away and head up. Lower down. Push away. Lower down. And push away. Now stay here. Keep pushing away. Left foot can come off the floor if you like. And if you want the work, left arm comes up. Makes it a lot harder. Don't sacrifice. All right? Choose. So for me on this side, it feels too hard. I'm going to put my left arm down and keep the energy in the legs. And then as you exhale, lower down, foot to your bottom, head all the way to the hand. And then release it. Hands next to your ribs, shoulders on your back. Push yourself one straight line up and come up to tabletop. Toes under, inhale for cow pose. Toes flat, exhale for cat pose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now this time when you're exhaling, just shift your weight back towards your hips, towards your heels. Let your head descend. Keep your arms long. Give your body a moment here. And then take your hands to the left side of your mat. And we will come back to that lateral flexion, breathing into the right ribs. And I want you to imagine I have a hold of your right hip and I'm pulling your right hip backward as you're reaching your right hand forward. See if you can create that traction in yourself so that you can really sense and feel the subtler, deeper tissue of the side body, ribs, armpit, chest, maybe outer sacrum. And then take your sides the other direction. So hands to the right side of the mat. Again, mind pulling on your left hip. You're reaching with your left arm. You're looking and finding for those little, what I like to call the sticky spaces. Breathing. And then come back to center. Place your hands on the mat and come up. And taking your left foot forward and off to the side of your left hand. You want to make sure you have room in front of you here. So walk your hands out in front. And you're going to start to shift your weight forward. Let your knee come out to the side. And let your back knee feel nice and light. So I'm pressing on the top of my foot so my kneecap isn't heavy on the floor. You can stay right here. You can take your left hand forward, like you're trying to reach out in front of you, and then take it all the way up behind you. So you're in this variation of lizard pose. Knees out to the side, right hip is descending. You're welcome to stay here, or if you can pick up your back foot and grab a hold of your right foot. If you're there with me, pull the foot to your bottom, let the hip descend more, and twist to your left. Really nice reset for a lot of the muscles that we use today. Nice deep breath here. And then if you have your foot, release it, bring yourself back around and find this front foot back to table. Take a moment. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Right foot steps to the outside of the right hand. Walk your hands forward and let your hips descend. Let this knee fall outward. You're going to find a lot of little sticky spots in there. And then if you want to go further, left hand stays on the floor, right hand reaches, trying to get length in your spine, and then up and around and over, palm to the sky. Stay here or pick up your back foot and grab that foot. Now, if you flex your foot, you're going to be less likely to get a cramp in your hamstring. Drop your left hip. If you're holding your foot, even if you're not, twist and look back over your right arm. Breathe. Release the foot. Bring the hand back around and bring your front foot back. Downward facing dog. Walk out your back legs. Heel down, heel down. Find this last little dog pose. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and lower your knees to the floor. And you're going to find your way to your back body. Once you're on your back body, I want you to bend your knees. Reset your pelvis. Find your shoulders flat underneath you on the floor. And then pick your hips up and bring them over to the right. Slide your left leg down and bring your right knee up. From here, you're going to cross over. And I'm sorry I didn't grab a block for you or a bolster, but this is a nice place to put something that your knee can rest on. So I put my block there. You don't have to do that. But what I want you to think more about is this right hip moving away from your ribs. I want your left ribs to feel light on the floor, so your right ribs are moving away from you, or your right hip, sorry. If this feels okay and both shoulders are on the mat and you're having a good time, you could straighten this front leg, this top leg, so that you've got a deeper action going into your outer IT band and hip. Breathing. Finding the deep breath in the belly. This is a nice time to open your mouth and let go of that exhale. On your next exhale, bend your knee if you straighten it. Bring your leg back up. Find both feet on the floor and come back to your center. Take a moment there. And then we find the other side. So hips come over to the left. Right leg goes down, left leg comes up. Cross over, and if you like, put something underneath your leg. What that does is it stops you from over twisting the sacrum and the lower back. Take your left hip away from your left ribs. And when you do that, you'll actually feel the lightness in the right side of your body on the floor. And then if you like, you could straighten your top leg. Make sure both shoulders are resting on the floor, both arms are open. So decide about the straight leg or not. That will really depend on whether your body feels open enough to do that. Remember, don't sacrifice your body for what you think the pose needs to be. Yoga is here to teach us all about life. That's why that one teacher said, if there was a pill that you could take to give us all the things, would you take it? And that pill is yoga. One more breath. And then when you're ready, bend. If you straighten the top leg, bring it back around. 2 feet on the floor, bring your hips back to center. Bringing your knees to your chest, give them a little hug. You might want to do a little rock side to side, a little massage. And then let your knees come open and see if you can grab your ankles, your big toes, or your feet. Now, if I grab my feet, my shoulders are way up off the mat, so I'm going to back up to my big toes. I want the feet together and the toes to the sky. And then roll the weight of your legs towards your sacrum so your lower back feels light. This is supine Baddha Konasana. Very sort of grounding pose. Breathing into anything that's present. And then let your knees come back to center. Give them one last little hug. Maybe if you like to pick up your head, bring your head and your knees together, curl up in a little ball. And then finding your way into Shavasana. So feet down, arms down, legs down. Remember to cover yourself up. Last day of the year. Last day of together on the mat for this year. What a glorious way to end the year. Connection to your deeper self. Something I've been talking a lot about recently, and how we walk into the new year, not with New Year's resolutions because they tend not to work, but from a deeper heartfelt space where we start to think about our life purpose and our dharma and making choices so that we can live that life on purpose. That's what I like to do. Take a nice deep breath. Once you're settled, let your whole being just release into the stability of the earth. Feeling the ease, the lightness of the breath. And as we rest in our deepest, most imperfect, perfect being. Take a deeper breath. And let that deeper breath move all the way to your fingers and toes. Start to gently move and open the hands. Spread and stretch the toes and circle the feet. And bring yourself back into your physical body as you stretch and awaken. Take another deep breath and then start to bend the knees. Maybe bring the knees to your chest. Give them a little hug. And then rolling to a side, slowly finding your way to sitting. Let's bring the hands to the heart center, thumbs and the breastbone. As you slide the fingers up the breastbone, notice the shoulders releasing, and then you can bow the head. Take a moment in gratitude, reflecting on the year past. All the lessons, all the experiences. We find intention, we find purpose as we contemplate the year ahead. As always, in so much gratitude for our time together, our deep body wisdom and guiding light. May our light always shine brightly, and may we always see the light in each other. Namaste. Imperfect, perfect beings.